Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, hey, welcome everyone. The Truck. I like that name. Hey guys, hey, it is your girl Raquel May David. So excited that you guys are here with me, dipping in and doing it. I am your host. I please forgive me for my voice. I decided to act like I was grown and go outside before New Year's, and my voice went with it, honey. Okay, that's what had happened. So so I'm trying to get this Cameron. Wanted to go ahead and just yeah, Jessica, I like to tell the truth. My voice left. I'm still here. I'm present. My voice, on the other hand, is sketchy. She in and out. Okay, she in a bad relationship with my throat. I don't know what's going on. Um, but I'm your girl Raquel May David. I am here to host with my wonderful co-host David Sanchez and our amazing moderator JM. So if you guys are new to us, we do things a little different over here. We like to make you laugh, okay? We like to give y'all the tea. And we're going to go through the Dispute Panda product together. The goal of this class is to get you onboarded and get your first round of letters out if you're using this as a consumer. If you are a business owner and you are wanting to understand how to leverage the software, we are going to dive into that as well. So I like to give a little bit of time for everyone to get in here, get in here. David, how was your New Year's?
More or less like my mom got sick, so I got to take care of her. So it was like so calm. We were eating tamales, pozole, and then that was it. Me and my brothers, with my nephews and my mom, and that was it.
Oh,
But it was
oh,
cool. But it was cool.
I did not. Okay,
All
so
the
my
gang together.
my oldest surprised me. And he said he wasn't coming. So my oldest came home for Christmas. So I was excited. I got to see him, all of the things. And then he said that he wasn't gonna come home for New Year since he came home for Christmas. And I was like, who told you that? Like, who told you that was even an option? So at 6 o'clock, he told me he wasn't coming. And then at 11:30, he popped up at the house and I was super excited. So for y'all that don't know, I'm old. I'm vintage. I'm a nice vintage woman. Okay. So I have a 19-year-old who happens to think that he's grown that lives 40 minutes away. So whenever he gets to come home, I'm always super excited about that. One conscious says that he's at work, but definitely need the recording so we can reach. All right. Well, see, you came to the right place. You said you need the recording. I have the community up on purpose, okay, y'all, because I like to do stuff on purpose. I have the community up for you guys because if you miss the Panda calls, you can watch us on YouTube. You also have the ability to click Dispute Panda Live, and you can see all of the tapings that we have already completed. So if there is a question, concern, comment that you happen to have missed, you have the luxury to go ahead and hit replay. um, so we want to make sure that you have all of the good tea, juices, and all. And the best place for you to do it is in a community with like-minded individuals. So if you are not in the community as of yet, please sign up. If you are not, because the community is free, you will have other people that have questions about the Dispute Panda software that already has an answer available for you. So we want you to not be out here um, by yourself. So thank you guys for all of the ones that are coming in. I'll do the reintroduction again. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Rocky. Don't worry about it. I grew up in Brooklyn, okay? Hove is my favorite. Um, but my name is Raquel May David. I am your host. My co-host is David Sanchez. Jessica be know what I be doing. That's right, Jessica. No, know what I be talking about on these lives. David Sanchez is my co-host who will be in the comments. So if you guys are looking for questions and answers, you guys can drop it in the comment. I do open a segment for Q&A, especially since my voice don't be voicing y'all. We gonna do this as a team, okay? We're gonna do this as a team. But the Dispute Panda community is up and you can watch the replays there. David has already dropped the link for our YouTube channel. So you get to see all 500 hairdos that I've had since we started. Yes, you get to see all of that. And our wonderful moderator is JM. So if you have questions, I don't know if you guys have been to the community. For those of you guys that have been, you will see JM is the leadership board answering all of the questions. Okay. Hey, Miss Clay, welcome, welcome. I know you're probably dipping and doing it. If you have questions, you can go ahead and come off of mute so we can get into it together. I think we're at 8:05. You ready to get started, David?
Of course, yeah.
All right, well, let's get to it. So I like to do our church announcements at the beginning. Okay, so so what that means is we do have a Panda Pro. If you guys are using the Panda Pro feature, class will resume next week. Hey, Brittany. Class will resume next week. If you guys have your cameras on, I like to dip and do and communicate with you guys. So it does give me the momentum to kind of see if you guys are stuck. If you are by your computer, even better if you guys have a question so that you can ask the questions in real time. What am I going to do? So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through the software. We're going to load our first client. If you are your first client, great. I love that. That gives us the ability to go ahead and answer your questions in real time while we going through. What I challenge everyone to do is when you print the letters today, get them in the mail tomorrow, y'all. Just go ahead and take it to the post office. But we're going to go through the software, the benefits of the software, and I am going to teach you today how to do a free round of attacks. If you guys are one of the pro users, we do go live with our pro class next Thursday. It will be 8 p.m. as well, and we're going to cover all the pro features and dip and do there. Brittany has a question, so I'm going to take that question, and then we're going to go over the platform itself. The question is, I have a question. If someone could help, I have a MacBook, and for some reason, I cannot access Dispute Panda's website, even after changing the settings. I have a MacBook that I'm on. Well, I have a MacBook Air, and I have the desktop. I have not had an issue. What issue are you having when you're trying to get in, Brittany?
It's denying access. Let me grab my laptop right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's so at first I thought it was maybe like the settings I have on my computer. You have certain blocks and let me log in real fast.
Are you using Chrome or are you using
Safari?
Safari?
Oh, both of them. Let me see right now.
Try Chrome because I personally use Chrome. I don't use Safari, but that's because I like what I like.
Okay.
I like what I like.
And I didn't want to. I wasn't scared to ask because no question is a dumb question. But I know you guys are not like touching bases on that. But I'm like, I need to understand. How can I? So I'm on here right now. Log in. Yeah. And I'm not gonna take up too much of your time.
No. Take your time. Take your time. While you're logging in, if you're still having an issue, I drop this every single class, guys. There is a platform called Loom. It's LOOM.com. Loom.com allows you to record a video up to 5 minutes long. And that way you can record the video of what's happening on your side when you try to log in and send it to our customer support team. But for transparency, I use Mac on all of my, I have a Mac laptop. I don't use Android anything anymore. And I've never had a problem, but I do use Chrome, not Safari.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
My pleasure, my love. All right.
Hey,
and
I got a question.
Yep, I was calling you up. What's up, my love? What's your question?
Sorry about that.
No,
I'm new to the software.
Hold on 1 second, King. One second, King. Let the truck go first, and then I'm gonna pull you because he had his hands up first. Go ahead, the truck. What question did you have, my love?
Hey, thanks, Rob.
My pleasure.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, I used the Dispute Panda, and I received my letter, and I actually paid to have you guys to mail it in. And once the bureaus received it, I received a letter today from TransUnion, and they rejected the letter. They were stating that this is a third party.
Hang on the call. I'll show you what the response is for that.
Okay, because I called them today in question about the letter, and I think I messed up because I told them, he asked me to go ahead and dispute it over phone. And it wasn't, I didn't read the letter completely that you guys prepared for me, and I just disputed it by saying it was fraudulent. And I tried to go back and he wouldn't allow me. I don't know if I everything up or.
That's okay. So what I'm going to tell you is when you guys are going through the process, that's why it's so important to be in the community, because we have a video on how to handle the responses. It's called a stall tactic. They will send you the letter. I want to clarify that according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, it does not state that you cannot use a third-party service in order to dispute your credit. So in this case, you're not using a third-party service because you are disputing your own credit profile. But even if you were to hire my company, Evolving Eve, to dispute your credit, there's nothing according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act or the rules that says that you cannot. So there is a specific letter that you can utilize and you can send out to them in response for the letter that was sent. Now, in your particular case, since you already called them and you had that conversation, all you're going to do is print the letter, reprint the original rounds that you sent out, and send the stall letter with that particular first round of disputes. And I'll show you what that looks like in the system, because it'll be a lot easier for you to understand when you see it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Good. Thanks.
My pleasure, my love. And then you just continue disputing your rounds accordingly. You do not want to say it's fraud unless it's actual fraud. But what we're going to do is reuse the letter, because the letter verbiage is going to give you that answer. If you pull up the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Lewis, in there, if you search, there is no laws that literally state that you cannot use a credit person. There's no laws in that Fair Credit Reporting Act that says that you cannot use a credit reporting service. A credit repair organization. There are no laws that say that. So it's not a law that says that you can use them. I'm stating that there is not a law that says that you cannot use them. Does that make sense?
That makes all the sense. Thanks.
All right, my pleasure, D-Chuck. Okay, and Mr. King, sorry, you're up next, and then we're gonna get into it. Oh, Justice has a question too. Okay.
Okay. So I just started using the software, and I want to touch up on what the trucker was talking about. If that comes back from the bureaus and says that you're using a third party service, you're saying for us to print the letter and then send it off on our own like that? They can't say that.
What I'm saying is that there is a letter in the Dispute Panda software that is called a stall letter. The stall letter has the verbiage to reply to the letter that the credit bureaus are sending you, stating that they see that you're using a third party service. So if you receive that letter, what you would do is go back into Dispute Panda. You would actually go into the static letter option, which for some people that are new, I do apologize. Let's hang in there. You guys will see what I'm talking about. But you would go into the static letter options and you would select the stall letter, the date that you sent the original round out, and then you would send the stall letter with that original dispute back to that credit bureau that sent you that stall letter notice.
Gotcha. Another question. So I saw the training that you guys have on there on the software, like all the trainings, I saw them all. And then I saw in the like one of them it has like the flow, like the red, the blue, the white, and something like that. And it said to use the red flow, because that one showed that it had the better results and the fastest, like the pinwheel and all that other stuff. So I'm following that flow.
Okay.
Just because I'm working on my own credit.
Okay.
But what I based on that, you're saying that once you get that stall letter, or once you receive that letter to send out that stall letter, does that fall under that red category or no?
So we're speaking about two separate things. So hang tight, because I'm going to make it a little bit clearer once I go in. Because you're speaking disputes, I'm specifically answering your question to the stall letter. So I want to make sure that I'm clear. So for everyone that's in the room, I want to bring everyone up to speed, because I did see there were some people that came in a little bit later. So the topic of conversation right now is that there were stall letters that were received from the credit bureaus. The question is, how do you handle the stall letters? What I'm advising is it doesn't matter which method of attack you're using. If you're using the red flow, the blue flow, the white flow, or if you're using the up-to-date dispute flow that is in the system now, whichever flow you're using is irrelevant. What I'm stating is once you get the stall notice, you are going to print out the static stall letter, and then you're going to print out whatever round of attack you're in. So if you are in round 1 and you received that stall letter, you're going to print out the stall letter, reprint out that actual dispute that you just sent from whatever flow you're on, and you're going to send them off together. And if you hang tight, we'll get into the system and I'll actually show it to you so that you'll be able to see it and it'll make more sense. Because what's happening is I don't want you guys to get lost in the flow feature and not be present in you're responding to a letter that the credit bureau said they're not working this file. You're specifically responding to that with the stall letter, and you're sending them back the same dispute round that says you didn't work this, you now need to work that file. Does that make sense?
Yes. My original question to you was, that wasn't my original question. That's just all that stuff was because of the conversation.
Gotcha.
When I log into the software, I can't see the whole screen on my laptop. It's like partial, like it doesn't fully come out the whole thing. Is that something that's on the software? Is it something that's on my computer that I need to fix?
That's a great question. I would say I've not had that issue and I was in my software today. We're going to go through it. If we don't see that here, my recommendation would be use loom.com, take a video of what's going on so that they can possibly guide you, because that may just be a setting in your actual computer.
All right, thank you.
Correct. Okay.
Yep, I'm done.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you. Great questions so far, guys. All right. Justin said, I sent my first round of attack to the main bureaus over 60 days ago, and they did not respond. I sent a failure to respond. So Justice, I have 2 questions for you. Well, let me see if Justice is here, Chad. Hold on.
Oh.
I am here.
Okay, come on, Justice. Okay, thank you so much. So Justice, I have 2 questions. The first question that I have for you is, have you pulled your credit since you sent off the first round of letters 60 days ago?
Yes, I have, and it's decreasing.
But my question is not if it's decreasing. Has accounts been deleted from when you sent the first round of letters out?
No change.
So there's been no change. No change
Yes.
in name, addresses, no accounts, nothing like that.
Yes, ma'am.
That doesn't make sense. So okay, so I have another question before I answer that question. The next question that I have is, are you saying that you've only sent out 1 round and then you sent out the failure to respond?
Yes, first round I sent it, 45 days, no response. I followed up with the failure to respond letters, and they have not responded either.
So I've never seen that happen where nothing, because you're saying your scores are falling, but there's no changes at all to your profile.
Yes.
Okay. What I would recommend is booking a call so I can see it and we can go through the credit report together, like side by side, so we can look at it. Normally I tell my clients, I tell everyone who I'm teaching this course, that you don't stop the process. So you're sending out round 1 attack. If they are not responding, and you're saying you haven't gotten an email from Experian, nothing from Equifax, nothing from TransUnion, all 3 of the credit bureaus have not responded to you.
That's right.
Interesting. Mr. Lewis, he said there's been no changes since 60 days. And that's not making sense. I'll drop my calendar so you can book a call with me, because I want us to go through the actual credit report. And since this is on YouTube, I don't want to expose
Yeah.
your information. But what I would challenge you to do, because I have never had a situation where I've sent out a round of attack and nothing changes, like nothing at all. I've seen where the scores drop because something has been affected, even if that something is the changes in the balance or something of that nature. But and I'm gonna drop some tips here, guys, that's gonna actually help outside of just sending letters. No problem. I'll go ahead and drop my link so you guys can book a call with me for the end of the call today. But I want us to have a clear conversation. If you had 45 days have passed, you pulled your updated report, that report is still showing the same or score decretion, but you're not seeing any changes on the profile, that is not normal at all, period. Number one. Number two, once that 45 days hit, you need to be sending out your next round of attack. You are still following the flow because you are not going to be able to do a CFPB complaint if your intent is to do that, or you're not going to see any movement if you're just sending out one round and then waiting. Does that make sense, Justice?
Yes, it does.
So you want to pull up the next round and you want to go ahead and dive in to get to make sure that you're still having the dispute process flow the way it needs to. So I will drop my link. Give me 2 seconds. Let me get started. And then I'm going to wait for the Q&A section and I will come in and drop my booking link so you can book a one-on-one call with me and we can go over. Because a lot of times I think that we get confused and we say that there's nothing to have changed and there's movement, but there's not movement in the scores. And I'm a holistic credit repair coach. So as we go through this process, we're not just going to talk about the letters, we're also going to talk about the behaviors because I like it to work flow. So we're kind of going to do a mini onboarding conversation with a client. So just hang tight. I thank you for that feedback, Justice, and I'll drop my information in a minute, okay?
Thank you.
But what you need to do is send the next round of letters out. Now, here's
Yes.
the problem. If you've already sent the failure to respond and you did that 20 days ago, let that 30-day window pass and then go ahead and do your round 2
True. Okay.
since you haven't done so.
Okay. Sounds
Okay?
good. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Ooh-wee. My pleasure, love. All right. So we're going to get started. We've had some ins and outs. Guys, please forgive me with my voice. I'm trying to act like I am not under the weather, but we're going to push through like a Mack truck over here. All right, so let's get into it. So you guys are here for the world's most advanced and effective AI-powered credit repair software that has zero overhead, which means you don't have to pay monthly for a platform unless you are upgrading to the pro version. Now, through this software, I'm going to go ahead and point out all of the things that are included in the free option, which is the standard Dispute Panda. We are going to sign up for an account together. We are going to load a client in together, and we are going to do our first round of letters when together, okay? So I like to go ahead and cover the basics. If you guys are not using Credit Dyno, which is a credit monitoring software that I will dive into in a minute, Credit Dyno gives you the ability to have free monthly rounds of attacks. If you do not use Credit Dyno, you are paying $17 per month for your attack. So what that means is you're not paying $100. You're not paying $197 for the platform. The platform is free. The only thing that you are paying for is for the letters to be generated. Thanks, JM, as always. So the Credit Dyno link is in the platform. We're going to cover that just shortly, but I want to cover what you get with the Dispute Panda software. So you get the AI-powered software that does the disputes for you. With you having access to the Credit Panda free version, you have the ability to house your information such as your ID, any documents that that you need to verify the proof of identity that you are leveraging to go with your letters. And you basically have a CRM. So think of it as a place to house your information, your family's information for you to dip and do. Now, the pro version is for individuals that are using this as a credit repair organization and want a secured platform to speak to their clients, allow them to upload their documentation, sign contracts, pay invoices, all of the things, and it is $197 a month. You do have the 14-day trial for $1. Y'all need to hurry up and get into it, because I'm telling you, in 2024, I don't know how long that $1 promo is going to stay. So if you are looking to do this as a business entity, this is an option that you can leverage, and you can pay for it for a year. It's $1,970, and you get 2 months for free. However, tonight's call, we're going to be covering the free sign up, the free platform. I am going to highlight some of the things that you get for the Panda Pro. But I want to go ahead and just tell you guys, you can have this software. You pay nothing every single month until you go to generate letters if you are not using Credit Time. All right. These 3 features here, I'm going to skip because they are specific to the Pro feature, and we're going to tackle that a little bit more when we get into the platform. This is what I want you guys to take a look at. The training tab. So the training tab is located in your platform as well as here. And automatically you can download the most current round of attack. So I know that you guys, if you guys were on here for a little bit, y'all heard King, and King was like, hey, I'm using the red flow. Well, the flows are specific. We had different flows that were out before. It was white, black, red, and blue. And a lot of people got confused. They didn't know which one to select or which one to leverage. So what the team did was basically did a beta test, work out what is the most low cost, fast, effective way to dispute our client's profile, and how can we make it concise for the new people that are trying to dispute their credit. So in order to do so, if you guys click at the very top of the training tab where it says get free download, you will see the most up-to-date guide flow that is available. Now, I want to say this, if you guys are already using the red or the blue, you continue using the flow that you have, or you can come over to this new flow and go ahead and support it. Now, the difference with this flow is it centered around Credit Dino and Dispute Panda Pro, because the Dispute Panda Pro option gives you letters not just for the credit bureaus, but they also print out the letters for the creditors as well, which is making your dispute process more aggressive in nature. And of course, this new flow makes it where everything goes out standard mail. You do not have to send it certified. And again, you still have the full 12 rounds of attack that you can complete. It also includes what we were having a lot of people ask about was, how do I deal with the secondary bureaus? This includes the secondary bureaus as well. So you can argue with LexisNexis, Innovis, LCI, ARS, just to name a few of secondary bureaus, which I like to call big brothers in disguise. Okay. Now, just to point out, static letters are free as long as you have money in the Dispute Panda software. You can generate as many static letters as you want for the free 99. Okay. So once you're in the training portal, you can go ahead and view all the videos. So if you are not here with me on a Monday, Wednesday, and soon to be Thursday, and you have questions, you have the ability to go ahead and watch these videos and get into it to dip and do it. Okay. We're able to go ahead and do that. And then we have the contact tab. The contact tab allows you to go ahead and contact support. Our support is here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at info@disputepanda.com. You can go ahead and ask a specific question about the specific client that you have, whether it's a document, action related, credit related, subscription, any questions you have, you can ask here. Again, I'm going to do a shameless plug for loom.com, because a lot of times you're looking at something and you may think that you're articulating it clearly. If you do the video, they can see what you can see. That way, if there's a gap, they're able to kind of like see it in real time from your eyes. So I definitely recommend that. You can also click on general questions. If you have a press release, beta test, you want to do partnership, you can ask those questions. And again, our customer support team will funnel it through the right person that would be able to support you. So these are the main tips that we have. I'm going to go ahead and click on sign up free. And before we get into sign up, I saw that there was another question in the chat. What question did you have today, Detrep? Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Hey. I don't know if he's away from his computer, his phone. All right, Destruct, when you pull back up, just let me know. You can raise your hand and
I'm sorry, I'm here.
you're fine. You're fine.
I was muted. Once I submitted my attack, I actually put in some current information, like it wasn't behind anything. Is there any, should I continue submitting that document because it's still current? It's actually like financial aid that's on my credit record, and I don't know if I should have put that down or not. Would that affect that? Because it's in good standing right now, and I still included that on my attack, and it's within that letter. Would that affect that good standing, or would they
No,
just?
because you're not disputing if it's in good standing or not. The question is, were there any errors on it? Is there any errors with the balance that's on there? Is there any errors with any of the information that's being reported? So understand the letters are not just disputing the profile, whether it's positive or negative. It's trying to ensure that the information is accurate and up to date. Does that make sense?
You answer my question. Thank you.
My pleasure, my love. All right, great questions. All right, so we're gonna dive into the onboarding or to the signing up for the platform. So I want to go ahead and talk about this because we have people that come in and some individuals are doing this for themselves. Okay, they're wanting to get their credits together and then possibly help some family members, which we love to hear that. And then some people are doing this as a business. Either way, I want to clarify that if you're using this and you're going to be using the platform, I always recommend that you put yourself in the platform at all times so that you can be the test dummy to understand how quickly do things come in, all of the things, right? So with doing that, you cannot have the same email as the owner of the platform because that's what you're signing up with right now, as well as the clients within the platform. So you're going to have 2 separate email addresses. Okay, guys? So while hold on, y'all, let me switch. Because I got too many things over here. That's what the problem is, Leanne. Hold on. Okay, so let me go back to my computer. All right, here we go. Let's get it count together. So I'm gonna put my name in here and then email. And my phone number. Now, if you have a business name and you have that information, you can plug it in. If not, it'll just transpose the information that you have up here down there. So no problem at all. I like to sign up for things because I'm nosy. I was born in January, February. Okay. All right. So I like to sign up for special offers, discounts, all of the things. I need them in my life in real time. Okay. So when you're going through the actual platform, this gives you a way for you to log in. This is the terms and conditions. The terms and conditions do have to be agreed to. It tells you how you should expect Dispute Panda to do business and what Dispute Panda expects from you. When you get into the platform, it will ask you to verify your email. They will send you a secured email for you to verify. I'm not going to do that right now, but you should do that within 48 hours of signing up to the platform so that you're good to go. I'm going to cover the main system for you, and we're going to go over all of the settings on the side. Once we are complete, we will go ahead and take a brief Q&A, and then we're going to load our first client in, okay? So this main site is where you are able to see your client's information, any missing documents, date of birth, all of the things. This birthday information is a pro feature that you're able to leverage. If you are on this main screen and you want to update to the pro, you simply click on the pro feature. It does give you the client portal, the payment forms, Zapier integration, one-click import, shareable reports, and more. If you sign up here, this is what I want to tell everyone to sign up with. When it comes to Credit Dino, you can get up to $22 from your credit monitoring. The normal payout is $8. With the Credit Dino, what you have the ability to do in real time is you can actually start getting passive income from people signing up just for credit monitoring. If you guys follow me on social media, I don't know if everyone does, I post about at least once a week about credit monitoring. It's in my stories. It's somewhere to let people know, like, if you're not checking your credit, why not? Now, one of the benefits with Credit Dyno, unlike other credit monitoring softwares, is you're able to see the report up to 7 years past. So most credit monitoring sites are only giving you the payment history and information up to the last 2 years. A Credit Dyno is giving you the full 7-year report. So if your client's info is on there and they have old accounts for 7 years, you're able to see it in real time. Why is this important? A lot of times what ends up happening is people would have been in a past due status, but they're now current and they're not understanding what happened because they don't remember being past due. And you're able to show them, like, back in 2014 or back in 2010. Well, so, but you get the idea. You can tell them back on this date, you were past due. Here's where it shows in the report. Here's why this is hindering you, right? So 1, you get paid out for it. 2, you get 7 years of the payment history. And 3, if you're using Credit Dyno, you automatically get a free round of disputes every 35 days. So you do not have to pay that $17 for your round of attack if you're using Credit Dyno. All right. So I want to go ahead and go over here. If you're needing to upload, or I'm sorry, if you're needing to find a client, you have to put in 3 characters at the top in order to find your client, or you can click on this tab and the list of your active, inactive clients will be accessible to you. If you are importing clients in from a different platform, you can click import and have the CSV file. If you are having a hard time importing your clients, you can send the CSV files to our info at Dispute Panda team, and they would be able to go ahead and import the clients for you. And if you wanted to add a new client, here's where we're going to go to be able to do that. So the software is really easy for you to use. If you have already sent out letters or you want to check the status of the rounds, you're able to do it here. For those of you guys that were on earlier, we had a caller that said, hey, I use the software to mail the letters. So yes, you can also use the software to mail the letters out for you as well. If you get the letters done by 12 p.m. that day, the letters will go out the same day. If not, it will go out the next business day for you. Only certified letters are trackable, so you will get the trackable numbers if you use certified mail. Again, the new breakdown and attack flow does not give you any letters that require certified mail. But if you decide that's what you want to do, honey, go ahead and do it, okay? You are able to see when the letters go out, and you don't have to log into the USPS. The updated information will be located here for you as well. This inbox information is for you to have conversations with your clients. This is if you are on Pro. And the report option is where you can actually see your status for your clients. So I do have a sample. Give me 2 seconds. Let me pull up my sample sheet. Okay. So this is what the reports tab looks like. It'll tell you the tally of scores that have been increased or decreased. They will tell you how much dollars and debts have been deleted, and total deletions for your profile. So when I said earlier that to me, it's not just how if the score has increased or decreased, how much dollars of debts have I been able to delete for my clients? That's what my movement is. If I can get those debts removed and at the same time get the points increase, oh, I'm dipping and doing in these streets. But if your scores may be dropping, but the debt is dropping as well, now we're having a conversation of how to build your credit profile, right? So I want to make sure that you guys are able to see like some of the perks that you get with the Pro feature. This is what it looks like for you to share on your platform. So if you are utilizing this as a company, you're able to put your logo in, your website, your booking link, whatever you need, and your phone number, so that your client can go ahead and reach out to you, so that your future clients can go ahead and reach out to you once you share this on your social media's platform, okay? The subscription tab is also an option for the Pro feature. That's for you to set up your payment plans and payment platforms. And as you can see, the training and contact tab is also here for you. Now we're gonna dive into this wonderful setting tool. So I'm gonna make this bigger again, guys. All right, so when you first come into the setting option, the balance tool, this is where you can, of course, update your balance. But I want to go through all of the profile settings so you guys have an ability to kind of see what it does and how it affects you. So you can go ahead and put your information in here. If you have an organization, a logo, a website, your contract, you can plug all of this information in here. Now, please be aware that none of this information will go out to anyone unless you have the pro version. The free version, this is just in-house for you to have. You can add team members. So what that means is if you're, for me, my daughter is my admin. She does process letters. She's actually one of my processors. So she goes in once a week. She looks at what clients are due every Friday, and then she goes ahead and do the letters for me, prints it off, and we mail them out. But I do not have to give her my login. I literally add as I added her in the system here as a user, and now she has her own her email address is her username, and then she has her own password, and she's able to log in and dip and do. The affiliate links allow, if you have the pro version, for your clients to pick what credit monitoring they're going to be leveraging. If you want all of these credit monitoring options, and these are the ones that are compatible with the software we have. So you can use MyScore IQ, Identity IQ, Credit Dyno, and Smart Credit are the options that are compatible with our software. Or you can be like me and turn all of these suckers off and only use Credit Dyno so that I'm processing for free. So now we're talking about profit, right? Disputing options here is the address for the credit bureau. Sometimes they do change. So if they do change, you are able to go ahead and come into the system and update the address accordingly. You will know if it changes. I also do put the information in if I ever see a change with the credit bureau's addresses. There has not been any change. These addresses are still satisfactory and they do get responses back for the credit profile. When it comes to the billing tab, this is where you would go where you can update again if you would like to for Dispute Panda Pro. You would purchase your credits. You can purchase them in bulk, or you can do a subscribe and save. So if you are doing this for yourself, you can purchase a $20 per month or $60 per month subscribe and save option. What will happen is the system will bill the card that you have on file every 30 days for either $60, you'll get $90 in credit, or $20 and you get $30 in credit. If you are doing this for yourself, it is feasible for you to go ahead and do so. If you are doing it for others, this may not be feasible. So like if you have you, your husband, your mom, your sister, that may not be doable for you, okay? But I wanted to go ahead and give you guys the option, and you have to remember that the payment information that's on file is your payment information. So you cannot have anyone else's payment info on file for you to leverage, okay? Invoicing. Invoices tells you what you paid if you have the Panda Pro, any statements that you have outstanding. The activity flow lets you know what attacks are available, any attack credits that are available, any mailing information that's going out. The integration is also a pro feature that you can leverage with a Zapier, and you can connect this to your email sequence. So when a client comes in and signs up, they can start getting the wonderful email sequence that they need to dip and do to be really good in these credit streets, right? My tagline is I teach you how to be a beast in these credit streets. And having the email sequence for you to get this out does allow that to happen in real time for your clients to get tips and info. If you have not yet, you can sign up for a referral tab. It is not live yet, but Dispute Panda does pay for referrals. So if you get someone else, let's say you know a realtor friend and she wants to learn how to do credit, and you give her your link to sign up, you can get paid out for in credits and other ways for you having them sign up for this platform as well, because we want everyone to be able to have the credit that they deserve and they need out here. So we've covered all of the bases so far. We're about to go into loading up a client. Does anyone have any questions about what I've shown so far? Questions, concerns?
You have a question.
Hey, Mr. Lewis.
Okay, when you're buying credits, I wish they would put in that, okay, if you sign up for the 20 or the 60, it comes out automatically. So what happened to me, I said, okay, I ran out of money. So I put it in manual. So if you put it in manual, you won't get your bonus.
That's correct. Because the bonus only applies to the monthly, the every 30 days.
Yeah, I wish they would have said that in there. They should have it in the writing somewhere, so we won't do that. Because it doesn't say it doesn't. It just it doesn't say you won't get the bonus. I wish I would have known that. I would have did it manually.
Okay, so yes, if you're needing credits outside of your 30-day window, you do not get the bonus. You just get whatever the credits are that you're purchasing. You can only get the bonus once, so you can't get multiple bonuses because remember, it's billing your card the same time every month.
Got it. Yeah. Well, I just learned the hard way.
Oh, I'm sorry that was the confusion. I did say you could put in the money. So yeah, when you guys are putting in the credits over here, you do not get the bonuses at all. You get whatever you purchase and nothing more. The bonus only applies if you do the subscribe and save.
Yeah, that like if someone put in $100, you thinking you get the bonus, you think you get $200, you're not getting that $200, you're getting that 100 only.
Well, the thing is that it says it over here on the side that it only applies to these two figures. So it only applies if you sign up for the $20 or the $60. So if you're not selecting this option over here on the screen, it does not apply to anything. Anything that you're entering here is just going to be what you asked for. Okay, but great question. I mean, great insight. I didn't know that was something that everyone didn't know. So I'm glad that we were able to bring it to the forefront. I saw that Mr. S has a question. What question do you have for me tonight, my love?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. So I had my first victory. I was able to get a collections removed from one of my clients. Jumped up 42 points on all three of his platforms. The only thing right now that I'm having when you're uploading the credit report or when you're viewing the credit report and you do the one click import, it doesn't reflect the current credit score, right? Because we're monitoring on pretty much all the platforms, right? He has I got him the Credit Karma free platform, Experian free platform, and then we're using the Credit Dino to monitor it, right? To go through this whole process with the one-click import. So the Credit Dino right now I guess it's just, since it recently just happened, it was, I don't know if it takes a little while for it to pick up since it is a third party feeding off, the bureaus. Does that sound like has ever happened to you, or it doesn't pick up his current score?
I want to make sure that I'm understanding what you're saying. So you have already updated the credit report.
Yes.
And the collection is off of the credit report. Is that correct?
Yeah. So when I updated it, it showed, since I'm on the free version right now, the collection was removed. But the credit score didn't jump. But then when we looked on his Experian and the TransUnion, all that other those scores were reporting that it had a 42-point increase. So I don't know if that was,
So what I'm going to tell you is what I said the last class. So I want to make sure you hit me correctly. The scores are going to be different depending on what platform you're looking at it. So remember, if you're looking at Credit Karma, that's the Vantage score. That's going to be calculated differently. And if you're looking at the Experian platform, that's going to be calculated differently. So my question to you is, what score are you having your client pay attention to? Because that's going to be the one that we're going to use as a score index. And the credit dyno will just be what we're using to dispute. So number one, I never use Credit Karma. I'm never going to argue if Credit Karma has an increase or a decrease. I don't care. That's irrelevant to me. I'm using Credit Karma only for the updates that it provides every 7 to 10 days that my client is getting. So with you using all of these different platforms, you have to decide which score matrix you're going to use as your definitive factor. If you're using the credit card company, they're normally using the FICO 8 model. It is completely fine if you're utilizing them as the definitive factor to track your score. But Credit Dyno is going to update differently, so the scores may not be the same as the FICO 8 scores that you're going to see. So I wouldn't be able to answer that question until you have a clear idea of which one are you going to be leveraging for score factor. Personally, whoever if you're using the FICO score 8 model, which is coming with the credit cards, because that's normally what they're utilizing, that is where you're going to have your client pay attention to the influx or the decrease in the number. You're just leveraging Credit Dyno for the updates and the history. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
And just to follow up with, I guess with that, when I'm doing the one-click import and it gives me the 30 days before importing, if I click the one-click or the imports before the 30 days, will it give me an update?
Nope.
And
you're supposed to do it every 35 days.
Okay.
So if you did it at day 30, you ain't gonna get nothing.
Okay, got you.
You have to wait for the 35th day. So as long as you're doing it at the 35th day, you should be fine. So what JM asked in the chat is, did you import the new Credit Dyno to Dispute Panda after the score increase to see the new score reflected on the dashboard? So you saw the increase in Experian or wherever you saw it at. Did you also come here and dispute? And is it within that 35-day window or was it in that 30-day window?
So yeah, it was after the 35-day window. We went on to the second round.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was more like probably like the 45th day, about 50th day.
You know I love them 5-day windows now. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we noticed that we were using the Credit Karma and the Experian just for monitoring purposes. And so when he was able to, I guess, get notified that, or when he looked at it, you know, it reflected an increase. So when I hit on the 45th day to refresh the credit report, the negative item was removed or wasn't on there. So I was like,
right,
okay.
but you just didn't see the increase in numbers. Yeah.
Correct.
So I would not. So if you're looking at numbers, and this is what I'm saying, if you're using multiple platforms, choose one and make that be your focus. If you have one that has a FICO 8 model, that is the one that I would leverage because FICO 8 is most normally used around the forum. Credit Dyno is not giving you a FICO 8 model.
Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah. Okay. All
awesome,
right.
Awesome.
Great question. And congratulations, my love.
Yeah.
See, I like when you come back and give me wins. I'll be like, L. Okay.
Let's go.
So
I have a question.
Congratulations. Okay.
I have a question.
Oh, yes.
For Mr. Salinas, because I'm new, I'm waiting for my responses to come back. Hey, is everybody out there, when they're sending out letters, are they sending them regular mail or certified? And are you splitting them up? Are you sending the inquiry letter by?
I send everything regular.
Do you separate them? Do you separate envelopes?
I do separate
certified by itself.
I do separate my letters. If they're three letters for the credit bureaus, then I'm putting them in 3 separate envelopes. I personally do not send out anything certified until the 3rd round and then the 5th round, if I'm choosing to do certified. And that's only if I have a client that's paying the VIP package. Otherwise, all of my letters go out first class mail.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
My pleasure.
I have a question.
Yes, my love, I might have an answer.
So if I'm doing it for myself, do I send it out certified or do it regular?
Completely up to you. Again, this platform here, the guide that we have, does not require you to send anything out for certified mail. If you are willing to pay for certified mail on your own, then that's fine. But I do not send out any of my letters unless you are a VIP client certified.
Okay.
Okay. Great question. Okay, wait. So I missed some questions in the chat. I'm very new to this. Where and how do I start? Is there a video I should look at? If you are still on the call, there is training video. You can actually I'll drop the Dispute Panda link, but right here is the training tab. It has the guide and it has all of the videos. You would start at disputepanda.com to begin, and then you can sign up from there, which is what we just completed. And we're going to go through the onboarding. So if you missed the call, you can watch the replay on YouTube or in the community, and I will make sure that our mods drop that information in a moment. Next question was, hold on. Denise, if you can come off of mute real quick and tell me what issues you've been having, be greatly appreciated. Hey, my love, look at you, ready. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Okay.
How you doing?
Lovely to see you.
Well, thank you so much for taking me this evening. I really appreciate what you're doing. I've been doing this for a long time, and I said I'm tired of my brick and mortar letters, so I tried Dispute Panda.
Okay.
Love the platform, perfect.
Okay.
I sent out about 4 people.
Okay.
When I sent them out the first time, they sent me back that letter. We're glad. Yeah, the stall letter. Mm-hmm. And after that, I sent out another round. I think I did the super kick, and nothing. Totally was ignored. I think I did a round for someone. We did this for 6 months, but I had to come out of Dispute Panda because the first 2 rounds we did, they totally ignored me. I did the, where you do the mail it from the actual software, and then I came back and printed out and mailed it myself, and I just had no success. So I'm not sure if it was the credit bureaus just ignoring me, or was I doing something wrong? That's why I joined today, just to see what was I missing, or what do I need to do, because I'm about to do a few more rounds for others. Like I said, that was then, but I have a few people now, and I would really like to use this platform before I go. I've done some research, to make it easier for myself before I go use some others. They're like, well, there's Metro 2, blah, 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 da, da, da. And I'm like, no, this is a really good platform. I really like the way it's set up. It's easy to use. You guys have the classes. So just, maybe some insight on maybe how I can get around what I'm dealing with.
So when I do one-on-one coaches, the first thing that I say is I make an announcement before I send out the first round of letters. A lot of times, because I do an announcement, I normally don't get the stall like everyone else does. However, if you got back the stall, my question is, did you come back in and send a stall response?
I did not. Okay. I did not.
So that is the secret sauce that you are going to need, because if you're not making the announcement, I have a dedicated letter that I personally use, and everyone that's in my training platform, I give them this letter. This is the first letter I send out before I send out one round of dispute. Why I do that is because I want to make them aware that I'm aware that they legally cannot stall out on my letters. They cannot not respond to me. They cannot not help me, right? So I normally do that announcement letter first. If you guys do not have an announcement letter, your announcement letter that you can use that the software gives you is that personal information letter. So you can make your round 1 letter be your personal information list. Says, this is my name, this is my address, this is my business. I'm about to send you information, and this is what needs to be here. And then send out your round 1s. Now, bear in mind that the letters, every single letter that goes out has that personal information in it. But why I like to do what I call an announcement first is because it lets them be aware out the gate before I even send out a round that I'm about to start working on my credit.
That's good. Okay.
Okay.
That's really
good. That's 1. Number 2, when you get that stall back letter, I don't move on to the next round because what y'all not gonna do is play in front of my face. Okay. So I'm sending you the stall letter that says, hey, legally, you're not allowed to ignore what I said, even if it was a third-party company that was leveraging my information. Even if I gave my information to this third-party company, you still have to respond. That is your duty when a dispute happens. So if you stalled out, it's not jump to the next because they're still not dealing with the first, right? And then with this new flow that we have in the system, I'm going to show you guys real quick. It also tells you when you would do a CFPB complaint. You can't do that complaint until you have enough letters, right? So you can't even complain on the bureau or the company until you have a certain amount of letters in your person to say, hey, you guys are not doing your job, and now I'm going to hold you accountable. Does that make sense? So when we go through, I'm going to show everyone the stall letter, but I think that is something that a lot of people have missed, is sending that out and doing the prep work. So my letter is a little bit more detailed where it basically uses like the code and the verbiage, but you guys can use the personal information that's in the system first and then do your first round of attacks. So that way you kind of have a break in when they're going to get the documentation and you can make the announcement that, hey, this is what's happening. I'm about to dispute. But that's a great question, Ms. Kemp. Do you have any others that you wanted to ask?
No, that was perfect. Really quickly, do you have do you sell that letter? Do you have that template that you offer for a fee, or?
Yeah,
that was my question.
I'll drop my link, and if you book a call, everybody that books a call with me, I give them that letter. Like that's just an automatic because it's an easy way to get life started. So I'll drop my link, and if you book a call with me, and if you have any other questions about the platform, we can go over that too.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, y'all. Okay, so any other questions before I get started? I want to make sure I don't miss anyone in the chit chat. YouTube got dropped. Come on, JM. Thank you. We don't want you to go to another platform, okay? We definitely don't want you to leave us. We're gonna give you all that you need to stay here. Did you have a question, Mr. Lewis?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you send out that letter, that warning letter that you're gonna be sending, working on your credit, you send out that letter, and when do you send out the letters, the dispute letters?
So I'm a different company. So let me clarify how I do business. My clients that sign up, they have a 3-day right of rescission, right? So they sign up today, they have 3 days to cancel. So my official day 1 for my client is day 3 that they're in my program. On day 3, I'm sending out that letter. On day 7 is when I'm officially doing their first round of disputes. So my day 1 for disputing is not until the client has been in my platform for 7 days. Personally, I know that my state says that I don't have to send them back the money after 3 days, but my verbiage gives them 7 days. So that's how I kind of do it. So even if I send out the notice to dispute on day 3 for my client, that letter is saying this is their only address, this is their only phone number, this is their only name, right? And it has the disclosure information in there as well. So for me, when my client does the consultation, they pay for their first work fee. And then 3 days later, I send out that notice letter, and then I do my disputes on day 7. For me, that's how my SOP is written.
Do you send a copy of the information like proof of residence, ID with that notice letter?
Yep, you have to.
Letter?
Yep,
yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because any letter that you're sending to the credit bureau, you have to verify that they are who they say they are.
Even in the second round?
I send it with every single round because I don't have time for them to play stall tactics.
Yeah, I know Dispute Panda automatically does that, but
no, I'm just saying for me, every single round, even when I wasn't using Dispute Panda, I've been with CRC, I've been with CDM, I've been with Credit Letter Generator, all of the platforms I've ever used. And since I've been doing credit, I have always, with every single round, sent out that information.
Good to know. Okay.
Okay, great question. All right, JM out here dropping fire in the chat. Okay, come on, somebody. All right, y'all. So we're gonna load myself in as a client. Okay. And this information is going to be me as the user. You can choose to add a middle name. As you can see, it's not necessary. You can choose to do it. If you decide to go ahead and do so, just be clear that all the information is spelled correctly. I personally like, because I normally deal with families, I like to have junior, senior, the fifth, the fourth. So that way, when I'm in the file, I know who I'm working. You do not have to do that for yourself, just for transparency. You do not have to do that. The only thing that is required is the first name and the last name. The email address is also, remember I said that it cannot be the same. So I said rock the boat, okay, is that email. I cannot use the same rocktheboat@gmail.com as the email for me as a consumer. I have to use a different email address as the client in the software. The phone number, just for transparency, does not have to change. And you want to make sure the last four of the social security is correct. The address has to be accurate on the system. You want to use all of the lines that are specific to the item that you have. So you're going to have the street address, the city, the state, and then the zip code. You're going to put the date of birth in here, and you want to make sure the information again is completely accurate. If you have the pro feature, y'all, you can click the invite client link here. That will send the direct email out so that you can go ahead and support. The client will get the email link and they'll be able to upload their IDs and all of their information from there. If you do not have that, you clicking this button ain't gonna do nothing, y'all. It ain't gonna go nowhere. It ain't gonna do nothing. Okay. I saw that Mr. Lewis had a question. What question do you have, Mila?
One thing I don't like about the system, if you put the wrong, okay, you saved the address, but if you're off a digit and it's wrong, you can't fix it yourself. You got to go to the back office and have them fix it.
You can fix it right here.
No, I have one now. I try to change it and it won't let me change.
It changes right here.
Okay, go back to it. Go back to it.
Okay, so I'm here. It's already changed.
That's crazy.
You just click the edit.
I got one right now. I got one right now. Yeah, and it won't let me change it.
I'm not so sure what error you have, but yeah, I changed it before.
Did you push save on that one?
Yeah, it said 1414 Mockingbird, and then I did 1415, and it saved it for me.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going though. I'm gonna do it on my other computer while we're having a meeting. I'll let you know.
Problem. Yeah, just click the edit. It should work. The truck said, being that I've already sent out my first round of dispute, the stall letter still is effective, correct? If the credit bureau is telling you that they're not working on your document, and if you hang tight, I promise you I'm going to show you. You're going to see that you're going to send out the stall letter and you're resending out your first round of attack to them. You're not doing anything different. You're resending out the first round of attack to them. So you're being specific to the actual credit bureau that is sending out that information. So TransUnion specifically told you that, hey, they're not working this file because they believe you're working with a third-party company. You're sending the stall letter and you're resending them your original round of dispute saying, I need you to correct this information. So yes, it is going to be effective. You just got to use the flow. Next question was, on my 6th round, but not getting any results I need. So let me clarify. When you say results you need, are there no changes or are you not getting the results that you are specifically looking for? And what things are you doing to ensure that you get them? Because that's a broad statement. And I want to make sure that I'm copying that properly. How much is Credit Dino? Credit Dino, the basic plan is $29.99. Great question. JM stated in the chat, Mr. Lewis, that they've already notified the developer of the error for your client's profile. It says one client report unable to change their state and it's giving them an error. So the developers are aware, but in real time, I've never had the issue, JM. So thanks for letting me know. In real time, I believe that if you said that you've made them aware, JM is letting them know that they've also let the developers be aware that there was an issue that you were having as well. So that should be corrected shortly. Is Credit Dino the best out of all of them? What I can tell you is that Credit Dino gives you 7 years of your report. The other credit bureaus give you 2. Also, using Credit Dino gives you the ability to go ahead and get a free round of attack. So it's completely up to you. I use Credit Dino for all of my clients. I previously did use Smart Credit, and I do have an affiliate link with Identity IQ. I no longer use either one of them. Is it important to dispute all hard inquiries? Great question. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me jump back in the platform and help here, and then we can move forward. So hang on 1 second. Identifications needed. Okay. So let me stop sharing full screen here. So with the platform, there are identifications that are needed in order for you to go ahead and support the client properly. Client, yourself, anyone. You need to go ahead and get the right documents over so that you can be supported and the files don't get kicked back. Let's be clear, the credit bureaus are going to stall out as much as they can. It's your job to make sure that you do not give them reasons to stall out. With that being said, all of your identification should match across the board. So whatever documentation you're using as an ID, such as a valid driver's license, it should match any bill that you are sending in correspondence to make sure that everything is in alignment and is same across the board. So with that being said, if you have, this is a great one. My brother just left Michigan and he moved back to New York. If we were disputing his credit profile, he does not have a New York ID as of yet, but he does have a bill in his name in New York. So what we would do is instead of using his ID, we would use his social security card, a paycheck stub, or any of these other documents listed as a proof of identification. Then we would be able to offer a supporting document for a proof of address. So I want to make sure that everyone is clear that the point is that everything is consistent across the board. All right. The social security card is optional. If you are using the social security card as proof of identification, you do not need to put it on the other segments. I want to clarify that these 2 red areas are the only thing that are required. The other is completely optional. Okay, guys? So when you're going into the system and you're updating the information, what you want to make sure that you're doing is that you can drag and drop or you can click and find, but you want to limit all the information that the credit bureau is getting. You want to give them just what they need to be successful and no more. So in this case, I'm leveraging this bill as proof of address, right? So I'm going to crop out anything that is not needed so that we're not using more paper than what is required. Understand that I am trying to run this business in profit and not in the red, okay? So anything, I want to cut down the cost on my ink. I want to cut down the cost on my paper. I want to make sure that I'm leveraging accordingly. So I want you guys to think the same way when you're leveraging the platform. And you're able to make sure the goal is to get all of the identifiers on 1 page, no more than 2. All right. I do have a fake social security card. Ooh. Let me go ahead and drag and drop. And again, this is what it should look like once you have all of the documentations in place. It should be grayed out. This gradient is what you should see. Once you have all of these in place, you know that you are good to go ahead and upload the credit report. Now, when you come in, the goal is when you're using a bill or anything of that nature, that you're updating it every 90 days. So what you would do is at the 90-day mark, you'd come back in here, you hit X, and you would go ahead and drop an updated bill into the system for the disputes to go. Okay. And you plug it right in here, crop it again so that it all only shows what they need to verify that the information is valid, and then you're good to go. You would then go ahead and slide down. And as you can see, unlike the other credit monitoring options that are out there, you have to log into their platform, update the credit report, come back here and do it again. with Credit Dino, you don't do that. It's a one-click import. So you literally just come in once you have the username and password in here. Every 35 days, you click this one-click import and it will pull in the client's information. So it saves you time from having to deal with anything at all. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'll open the floor for questions while I'm trying to get the password in the system. What questions does everyone have?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, so hey everybody, how's it going? So I'm very new to this. I've been seeing the emails. I haven't looked at anything yet. However, I feel like I need to take this seriously and fix my credit and build a business out of it. So as you mentioned, there are videos that I need to check out and so on and so forth. So I guess I have to go through the videos, but is there anything you could add in regards to guidance that could help me? Somebody that's, brand new. However, I'm very motivated and I'm very passionate about everything I do.
So what I would need you to be a little bit more specific so I can guide you a little bit better. What question specifically do you have? Because to begin, if you're talking about the platform, then you just kind of got to start.
Okay.
You gotta start with the video, start with looking at everything so that you can see where you are and actually begin. But are you talking about the art of disputing credit? Is that what your question is?
Yeah, and what I need is actually guidance. So do you provide any type of additional guidance, anything of that sort?
Absolutely. I just dropped in the chat my booking link. So if you want to have a conversation about Dispute Panda, you can do that. And then if you want coaching outside of, like, support with coaching through the credit repair process, I do offer that as well. Hang on a second. So yes, that is an option for you to have, but I did drop my link. So if you wanted to have a conversation on how the platform works outside of what we cover, because on this call, we only cover the onboarding with the documents. Sometimes I have the ability to go ahead and answer a few more questions, but I do want to be mindful of everyone's time within the platform. So yes, if you want additional support, you can go ahead and leverage the platform to get that. I mean, you can leverage my calendar to get that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, my love. Hold on, I'm trying to talk and type. And you know that I'm old, y'all. I'm just going to tell you I'm a good vintage mind now. Was there any other questions that we had down here?
Yeah, I had a question for you.
Yes, sir.
My question was, if I sent out my first round of attack, I got they stalled me. I sent the stall letter. Should I have automatically resent the first round of attack, or?
That is correct. You're supposed to send the stall letter with the first round of attack.
Gotcha. All right, thank you.
My pleasure. So if you have not done so, hold on a second. Someone said that they're having a problem with the link. Give me 1 second. Someone said that they're having a problem with the link. I'm not quite sure there, so I will go ahead and drop it again to make sure you guys have it. But yes, if you did not send out the actual dispute letter with the stall, you're kind of being counterproductive, because the goal is to tell them you're stalling. I know that you're not allowed to do that. And here is the documentation of what my original request was. I need you to get it done now. So it's a two-part thing. It's not just one or the other. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. And good question. Any other questions you got for me?
How you doing? I got a question.
Yeah. Wait, one second. Mr. S had his hands up. So let me get him first and then I'll come right back to you, okay? Give me 1 second. All right, what's your question, my love?
So, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So as far as the inquiries, I'm doing myself as well on the credit on the what is it, the Dispute Panda platform, the free version. So I was trying to dispute my inquiries, and I know they're relatively small for percentage on the credit report, but they sent me TransUnion and Equifax gave me a stall letter. One was stating that they are valid. Pretty much they verified them, so I sent out the stall letter for verification that they need to send a proper report. Um, Secondly, for TransUnion, they sent out a stall letter just giving me a copy of my credit report. So I just sent out the regular stall letter on that.
I would not have done a stall letter if they sent you back the report.
Oh, okay.
So your issue is the inquiry. So you would still go through the regular flows with including the inquiries. What I would say is that when you're going through the process, one of the things that you can add to is understanding that the inquiries are not whether or not they're valid or not. They have a time frame. So the question that I would have is the inquiries that you have that are on your profile, are they going to move the pendulum that 55 points? Like,
No.
have you maxed out your 55 points? Because if it's not moving the pendulum, is that something that you should be focusing your worry on?
So I guess for me, no, to answer the question, no, it's not. But for what I'm doing is credit funding. So when I'm applying for business credit, I have some of these inquiries that are relatively new. And so if I have, about 4 or 5 inquiries that I relatively got about a month ago, if I can remove them in less than 90 days rather than waiting the 6 months for another creditor to go and, ask the same bank for the business funding, get it off in the 90 days or less than 90 days, with the
Inquiries do
platform.
not go off as quickly as you think. So
Yeah.
sometimes it'll take longer, but I would not send a stall letter for the inquiry. I would only send a stall letter if they're not doing the report. If they sent you back your credit report stating this information, what I would do is send out the information on your next round of attacks, select those same inquiries and call it a day.
Okay, so yeah, I sent out the second round. Just followed the flow, and I sent it out. And
Oh, you saying my line? Look, he said follow the flow. Yeah.
Yeah, follow. So I went ahead and did that, and now I'm just waiting. So that's so the collection actually came off faster than the inquiry. So
Absolutely, because inquiries are a lot harder. I actually have a letter asking. I have a free form letter that I use that I ask specifically asking the collector what number I was on in their sequence order. The reason why I do that is because they can only purchase a bulk sometimes. And if I'm not in that bulk sequence, let's say they only had 16,000, I was 16,002. Technically, they weren't supposed to run my stuff anyway. I can normally get it off as well. So there are different tactics you can use, but inquiries do not come off as easily as collections do. I promise. But
well, I didn't. Yeah, that's good knowledge. It's good information.
No problem. No problem. Okay. I think it's Oleg. Did I say that right?
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Thank you.
Okay. My pleasure. How can I help? What's your question?
Hi, dude. I'm trying to figure out the way of disputing in the letters, or where you go to the client and you go to disputing, and I'm trying to see how do you generate extra letters? And I know
Why
on the
would you
bottom
need
here.
to generate extra letters?
Well, I'm just trying to see how it works. Anyway, we could go over that.
We're
'cause it
actually
does have-
about to get into the letter portion right now. We haven't even gotten there yet. So if you give me one
Okay.
second, we're gonna go into the letter field right now. We have to actually prep it before we actually do the letters. But I just want to understand, when you say extra letters, what reason would you need extra letters? In what circumstance?
No, just letters. I don't mean to say extra.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to show you guys how to select your letters, and we're going to go through a flow today. And someone in the chat asked if the free version has less access to letters than the pro. No, it's the same letters no matter if you have the pro or the free. The difference is the aggressiveness of the attack. So if you have the pro version, you are able to select letters not just to the credit bureau, but also to the creditors directly. So for instance, if you have a negative account with Capital One, you can send a specific Metro 2 coded letter to Capital One along with the credit bureau. So even though the credit bureau might want to stall you out, the creditor won't, because they have an obligation to respond to your letter within 30 days or they're in breach of their agreement. So the difference between the pro and the free version is the level of aggression. Great question, Miss Z. And Miss Sandy, we are going to go over the disputing tab in a moment. Justice has a question. What question do you have, Justice?
Yeah, I just posted on the chat that is it important to dispute all the hard inquiries in the report, or do you have any?
That's a great question. So here's what I'm going to say. There are 5 components to the credit report for a FICO score to be calculated. The 5 components are: the heaviest weighted one is your payment history. That is worth, now don't you go ahead and act crazy now. Sorry. The first one is your payment history, which is worth 35%, which equates to over 192 points in your calculation. The next one is your utilization, which equates to over 160 points. Your third one is your age, which worth 87 points. And then the last 2 are your credit mix and your credit inquiries. Those are both worth 55 points. When you add all of those together, plus your baseline of 300, you equal an 850 score, right? So when we're talking about what I need, it depends on what your client is looking for. Inquiries can be affecting them because they can get auto declined if they have more than a certain amount, depending on the credit card company that they're looking to get funding from or the bank. So if your client doesn't have an excessive of 6 or more within the last 6 months, then it's not necessarily an issue that you necessarily have to focus on. But if you're getting clients that are specifically coming to you for funding, then yes, that is something that you're going to want to focus on. It not necessarily because of the number, but possibly because, when I say number, not necessarily because of that 55-point window, but it could be specifically that this client, for instance, this one has a TransUnion, and for their TransUnion, they already have 5 inquiries. So when we're looking at the profile itself, you're going to say to this client, if they were trying to get an Amex, if they do one more inquiry, they're going to get an auto denial. So they're not even going to be able to get into the system to get a number or to get looked at, because Amex is going to be like, you've already done 6 inquiries if they're pulling from TransUnion. So that question is subjective as to what your client's end goal is. Inquiries are not my first topic of discussion because that's not a heavily weighted portion unless we're talking about a client that is specifically looking for funding. If my client is not looking for funding and their goal ultimately is to get a house, I'm talking payment history and I'm talking utilization of their cards, because those are the heaviest weighted portion of the credit score. Make sense?
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Great question, Justice. Mr. Barry, what question do you have?
2-part. The inquiries are, if they're not attached to an open account, are they removed easier?
Inquiries are the bane of my existence. The answer is no.
I know.
I have gotten collections.
I see the passion.
I
But
have
when you
gotten
go for funding, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's the luck of the draw when it comes to inquiries. Sometimes I've been able to get something off in 45 to 60 days. There's been times where I've had a client who was with me for 6 months and we still were fighting an inquiry that was on there.
Gotcha. All right. Second question.
It all depends.
The score you just gave for 190, 160. Could you put that in chat? I just want to copy that down.
No, I'm sorry, I can't.
Shoot.
I'm so sorry, but if you book a call, you'll get it.
Could you say it one more time? You know, I got a good memory.
I'm with you. So the score breakdown, there's 5 areas of the score breakdown. The first one is your payment history. Payment history is worth roughly 192.5 points. The second one is your utilization, which is worth 160 something points. I think it's like 165 points. And then your age of your account is worth 87 points. And then the last two that are 10% each are all worth 55 points. So when we're having a conversation, or when I'm having a conversation with a client, I'm looking at the totality of their file, not just their score, because their score is broken up by the calculation of those pieces. So if they're maxed out on their credit card, it don't matter how many letters I write, you're still not going to get those particular budgets.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
My pleasure. Great question. Did anyone else have another question? So I saw in the chat, could you please, I'm sorry?
I have a question.
Oh, I got an answer possibly. What's up?
No, when you said utilization is 165, I have the perfect example of that one. I had a customer that's lost 171 points in 1 month in December. He had a $2,000 credit limit with a zero balance. Charged it up for Christmas. That's the only credit card he had. He went from 716 to 564 in 1 month. His score went from 716 to 564. He lost all those points on a score because he maxed out his zero balance card to $2,000. That's crazy.
And the reality of the situation is everyone thinks about the due date, but that gentleman could have used that card. What the trick would have been for him is he would have needed to pay that balance completely off or below the 15% mark, because everyone says 30. If you are looking to be in the 700 club, you are wanting to use less than 15% of your overall available credit. So with his client only having one card and maxed out that card and did not pay it down by the statement date, yeah, he feeling the hurt. He's feeling the hurt.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to show you guys if you just hang tight. Yeah, so it's a state. Come on, Miss Kemp with facts. It's the statement date, not the due date. So if he would have paid that balance off before the credit card company decided to go run tell mom and dad, we wouldn't have had these problems. But you want to get your points, because I'm definitely a point taker. Okay. Give me 1 second, the truck. I'm going to show you how to get to the stall letters. And additionally, with Dispute Panda service handling the mail letters, I'm interested to know if I can include stall letter in the process utilized. You can include whatever letter you like in the stall process. Do you have a Facebook page? Yeah, child, I'm out here in the streets. Raquel May David everywhere, because my husband said his last name got to be on my name. So just Google me. I'm everywhere. Twitter, Snapchat, all of these. You can find me. Okay. If y'all hear my 6-year-old, it is not my fault. I'm trying to be a good mom. And my husband is out here with him. So it's just hang tight, guys. All right. So I want to get back to this because everyone had questions about the disputing tab. What I'm going to go ahead. Oh, no, you are completely fine. What I'm going to go ahead and do is talk about the sections that you are seeing right here. So in the software does not auto-select any information on hard inquiries. That is something you physically have to do. The reason why this is important is because when it comes to the actual inquiries at hand, you have to make sure that if it's a credit card, that there is not a supporting open account linked to that inquiry. If you do dispute it, you run the risk of that particular account being shut down, okay? So I'm gonna say this again. If there's a Capital One up here and you slide on down to Velma and there's a Capital One down here that says open, and you dispute that inquiry, you run the risk of your client's account being closed. We do not close things over here that's not supposed to be closed, okay? So you want to protect the best interests of your clients, and you want to make sure that you are looking through everything accordingly. So when you are going through, I've been a little bit seasoned in these streets. I've been doing this for 19 years. On and off. So I kind of know what a lot of these mean. So I'll see THD and I'll know that's the Home Depot. If you guys do not know the abbreviation, that is fine. You can do Command F, Control F. You can scroll and look, whatever is the most convenient for you. But you want to search, like how I'm looking right here. There's one section, and then there is a slash and then another. So in this particular case, I know it's I think it's Cross Riverbank is this one. But I'm going to search seed. When I type in seed, it will take me to the actual open account. In this particular case, it's a charge-off collection. It's already selected for me. It's not open. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go back up and I'm going to select this option. Okay. Capital One. I already showed you Capital One that it was closed, but I'm going to do it again. I'm doing them again. So one. So it'll highlight all the Capital Ones and it will show you the account. If this Capital One said account status open, I would not touch it, but it's closed. I'm gonna touch it. I'm gonna touch it all day. Okay. And I'm gonna select the information that is here. I'm gonna select all the Capital One options that are here because they do not have an open and active account. What I will advise you is that systemically, the system is only going to allow a certain amount of information through the platform. So I don't want you to get confused or stressed and like, how much do I pick? You can select all of the hard inquiries that are showing up that is not attached to an account below. If you select it, the system is only going to allow, when it comes to certain letters, I think sometimes it only allows 7, sometimes it allows 5. It tells you on each letter. So that means one letter will only have 5. So if your client has 10, one letter will only have 5. The next letter will have the other 5. So there's nothing additional that you have to worry about. The public information, that is bankruptcies, repos, judgments, liens, child support, all of those things would be there for you to go ahead and view. In the system. The system automatically will select anything that is showing up on public records that is hurting your client's score. Also, because of the data points and the information that is transferred between Dispute Panda and Credit Dyno, it auto selects all of the negative items for you. So you don't have to worry about selecting something. Now, if you are dealing with a client and the client says something like, I don't want to dispute CarMax because I'm in negotiation with CarMax, you can uncheck the CarMax information and it just won't be there for that round. As you can see, CarMax is only showing with 2 of the 3 credit bureaus. So you would only uncheck the credit bureaus that it applies to. The system is going to generate different letters if you are late versus if you are in collections. So systemically, it will pull the information and put the verbiage specifically oriented for late, and it will put the verbiage specifically oriented for collections. You don't have to do anything additional. Now, what I want to point out is this. When you click this little eye icon, the system from Credit Dyno has a communication that it brings all this information in. So I'm going to take you through a quick conversation that I would have with a client for onboarding. So my conversation would be, hey, I'm looking at your profile. Let's say this particular account was open and not closed. I'm going to talk to them about their payment history. According to your payment history with Experian and Equifax, you're at 55% payment history. Your credit score is heavily weighted on your payment history. What that means is if you are late now, that is impacting you for a 24-month window. You have 24 months to earn that back, right? So what we want to make sure is for the next 24 months, you have nothing late. We want to make sure that you're earning back those points and that you're trending in as close to 100% as possible. We're going to go over to the account health and we're going to say, okay, we're looking at this profile. Your utilization is showing that your credit limit is $10,500, but your balance that you have is $12,000. So again, utilization is over 160 points. If you're over your limit, you ain't getting nothing. You getting 0 from that one segment. So what we need to do is start focusing on getting you under your limit and doing that well. So what we're going to tell you is the first thing that I need you to do is I need you to pay your minimum payment times 2 plus $4. That's going to give you breathing room from what your actual credit limit is before they actually start incurring more fees and more interest onto your package. So you're having these educational conversation and you're able to show your client in real time how this is impacting them, right? So you can say, listen, I know this is hurting you. Look, it says you're using 120%. If your utilization is subject to how much breathing room you have from what you were gifted as to what you have available, girl, you maxed out, honey. We need you to get on below this line. Okay. So this is one thing that you can leverage to go ahead and have a conversation with. I'm going to take questions in 1 second. Give me 1 second. The next thing that we have on here is if you guys have free form letters. So I have what's known as a 1099 letter that I love to use. That letter goes out to anyone that I have in charge of because I want to know what is the specifics. And that 1099 letter goes out to the actual creditor. So if I'm wanting to generate a letter specifically for the creditor and I want this to be submitted, I can go ahead and click on this option and type that 1099 letter out here. You can save it as a template and use it. And what'll happen is instead of the round of attack that you have selected for the whole profile to go out, it will only print out that free form letter that you have in the software. So if you guys have been doing credit repair for a while and you're like, oh, I know this letter works for me, I have a factual letter that is impeccable, you can input that factual letter here and use it at your discretion, or you can change your mind and use it there. Just use the system. So you would have to do this and then select save before you're able to go to your round of attack and select letters. So I'm going to open the floor for questions. I saw a couple in the chat. Ms. Cheryl, did I say it right?
Yes, hi. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I've been using your system for a couple of weeks now, and I'm having issues with the certified letters. Okay, so a couple of my clients, I sent it certified. It was about $26, and they get a letter from Experian saying, "Hey, we received a recent request regarding your credit information, and if I'm here to inform you that it doesn't appear to be sent directly to you or directly by you, and we have not taken action." So when it does that, what do you do? Do you actually, because I was thinking about just printing the letters from my home.
Letter you're going to select, and I'm going to show you that in 1 second. Did you have another question besides that? Because a lot of people had that question. I want to do it all at one time. Did you have another question?
No, but what did you say? You said that's an install letter?
A stall letter is what
stall,
you would and I'm going to show you how to get there.
Okay, so that's the only question.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. That's a good one. Okay. So yeah, it looks like a lot of people are having stagnation, as I would say it. We are going to fix that problem on today. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm glad that I was able to give you some good information, Ms. Kemp. Ms. V said accounts and collections take more time to remove if they are reported recently. Yes, and what I would have a conversation, I did drop this in the last meeting that I had, is also verify, sending out the validation and making sure that that company is able to dispute or collect, proper verbiage. Make sure that collection company is able to collect in that state. One thing that I think a lot of people miss when it comes to medical collections are easy for you to get off. One of the tips that you would want to use in that particular realm is contacting the actual medical provider and seeing if they are able to help you with a with a financing plan. Because a lot of times the medical providers have like funding or grants that they have to give out to individuals anyway. And that is a good way that you can get it pulled off. And I promise you, even if you get on a $5 payment plan, that can get removed really quickly. But is it hard? Not necessarily. I just would say it's not as easy as if you have someone who is in charge of status. And I like to explain to my clients, not everything can be written away with a letter. So even if you have a charge off or you have a collection, if we can get that settled, I have an easier time getting a settled debt removed than I do have an outstanding one. So we have those conversations as well. I am on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm also on the TikTok. Just to answer the question in the chat, I am in these streets, dipping and doing it. This is almost as bad as a late payment. So let me say this, utilization to me is not as bad as a late payment. Let me explain why. With a utilization, you can shift the pendulum by the next statement date, right? So if you have a client who has used, like for Mr. Lewis's example, and thank you so much for sharing that, Mr. Lewis. If you have a client who has maxed out their card, but they have the ability to pay it, right? Because they have the cash in the bank account, they can get up out of that situation and earn those points back a lot easier than a person who has been late. Because that late payment you have to work for. The utilization is just a math equation that you have to work on to make sure that by that statement date, you're where you need to be. But yes, as far as the points go, yeah, honey, you use those cards, you max that card out, honey, there are two games that you're playing in credit. One game you're playing with the credit bureau, which is I want you to have credit but not use it. The other option, the other one that you're playing is with the creditors. They want you to have it and use it responsibly. Okay. So as long as you're playing the game correctly on both sides of the fence, it'll make it a lot easier for you to leverage in the street. But great point, Miss Kemp. You on fire. Come on, somebody. All right, so a lot of people had questions. So before we do the first round of attack, I want to take you guys for the stall letter. So I'm going to say this again. The static letters are free as long as you have money in your bucket. As long as there's money in this balance here. So how it says 0, I can't print out a stall letter because it will not be free for me. But if I have $1 in here, I can come over to the static letters. And what you would do is scroll to where it says stall. The system is going to ask you, what was the date that you sent your last dispute? You're going to put that date in here. If you guys have the pro version, you are just going to drop the document of the original. So if you did round 1 or you did round 2 and you got a stall, you can drop it in here. You hit start round. 12, 23. So you would hit start, you would hit stall, you would put the date that you sent the last round, you will hit start, and then it will generate the letter for you. Okay, but as you can see, you need at least $1 of credit in order for the static letters to be pulled for you. But if you do not have the pro feature, you would go back to the stall if you guys are using the free version like me, okay, like we doing right now. You would click the stall, you would put the date in here of the last round that you did. You would hit start round and you would print out that letter, print out the original dispute, make sure that all of it goes out to the credit bureau and you are done. That is literally all you have to do. Did I answer your question, Miss C? Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Yes. So just so print out the stall letters plus the dispute letters.
Correct. Whatever dispute. And remember, you're only sending it to the credit bureau that sent you that stall. So you're not sending the stall letter to all of the credit bureaurs. You're sending it, if TransUnion sent you the stall, that's who you're sending it to.
Okay. And then make sure I send it certified, correct?
I don't send nothing. I'm gonna say this again because I like to be honest with you. I don't send nothing certified till round 3. Personally. The flow does not require the flow. So unless you're using the older flow, like the red, blue, green attack, those have sequence where there's certain certified. If you're using this new attack flow, none of them require any certified letters. All of them go standard mail.
Well, the reason why, because the first time I did standard letters and I got the same answer from experience. So then I did a certified and I still got the same answer. So that's the reason why I did a certified.
So let me clarify what certified does versus first class. That doesn't make the credit bureau respond to anything you have to say. Certified allows you to track when that letter has been delivered. That is all you're doing. when you're doing certified. It's not making them push any pendulum. Now, I'm a certified notary. I have sent documents notarized. I've sent documents not notarized. When they want to stall, they will stall. So sending it certified or non-certified doesn't push them to do the work. What pushes them to do the work is utilizing this particular stall letter because you see how it has the coding right here. This is the verbiage that says you are required to dispute my round of attack. That is what's going to be printed on that letter. That is what's going to get them to move. So that's why for me, I send the announcement letter because my announcement letter has this verbiage in it. The announcement letter
where do you get the announcement letter at?
That's something that I personally created. So it's something that I for my students that I teach. But if you are using the system and you've already sent off 2 rounds and you've not gotten any traction, it's not certified versus not certified. All certified is doing is telling you that when that document got
I understand that part. When it got there.
Yeah. So I mean, you don't have to pay for that because I feel like that's an extra step. If I pay for it, it's for my VIP clients, and I only send it out certified round 3 and round 5.
Okay, so I'll just send it first class, and then I'll make sure I send a star letter to everybody who got it.
Yep. So, and you're gonna send that last round of attack. So if you didn't send it the first round and you already moved on to your second round of attack, go ahead and send the star letter and resend out your second round of attack.
Okay.
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 Great. My pleasure, my love. Okay, my headphones passed away. Jay passed away. I'm having to. I'm glad I was able to help. I'm sorry that your headphones wasn't doing well, but yeah, I'm so glad that you guys are all here. Yep, tracking. So we're gonna jump into the guide. So if you guys are using this new flow, even if you don't have the pro, you can still leverage the information that's here. What I want to point out is that all of the flow and the guide that's giving you is telling you when should you use handwritten, when not to use handwritten, and everything goes out within a 35-day window. I am a 45-day company. What that means is my letters don't go out within that 45-day cusp. I don't even touch my client's file except for in that 45-day window unless I get the faxes to go through. So I do fax, I mail, and I used to upload, but it's a little tedious. Buy the truck, have a great day. It is a bit tedious when it's doing uploads. So that is something that I definitely give to my VIP clients. But my standard clients, we're doing mail. All my clients, I fax. If the fax goes through, because again, they like to play games with their fax number and change it all the time. If the faxes go through, then in real time, I am going ahead and counting when the fax received as day 1. Even if the fax goes through, I am still sending my documents by mail because I want to make sure that you guys have received it, you guys are working on it, and you're not playing any games in these streets, right? So you are able to go ahead and leverage that option. Now, when you're looking at this guide, it is telling you the static letters that you're able to go ahead and select as well. And these are the third-party company that also houses your information. Again, as long as you have money in your bucket, you can select it. So sorry, the first round is the Punch of Fury. Supreme Boosted is going to be the attack variation. If I have the pro, I'm going to select the creditor letters. If I don't, I'm just not. It is in handwritten. It is first class mail. It does not need to be in color. And it does go out that this is my first round sequence. So I would come here and click handwritten. Well, let's go back. I'm going to come here, Punch of Fury, Supreme Boosted, handwritten. If I had the pro, I would click generate the creditor letters. I'm going to hit start. I'm going to type confirm. And look over here, guys. It says I have 1 free round of attack, right? I'm going to hit confirm, and it's going to generate my letters for me. That is it. That is all. This flow that you're seeing here is under the training tab. So if you click on the training, this will, oops, sorry guys. this will open up for you. And the very beginning of the training tab is your free download. And this is what gets downloaded for you. So you're coming into a platform that tells you what letters you need to send out, how you need to send those letters out, what the frequency is, if you're choosing handwritten or not. And then once you are done, it generates the letters for you. If you have money in the bucket, you can click mail out. And then you can, everything's first class. It says that this is supposed to be single-sided, so it's no to double-sided letters. Color is no, because we don't need any color. But let's say you wanted to, like Miss Cheryl said, she does certified. If you wanted to switch it to certified, you have all capabilities of doing that. And the system will mail the letters out for you. I am a control freak, so I'm going to tell you me, Raquel, me, her, she, me. I mail out my letters. I actually have a box full of letters right here that I had to take to the post office. We just did letters on Monday this week. And when we did the letters we did the letters on Friday, but they were not due to be dropped off at the mail until today because I was working a little bit ahead. It was still within that 45-day window, but I wanted to make sure that I had everything together because my son and I normally go to the post office in the middle of the week. That's what me and my 6-year-old do. I like to know that I'm taking the letters out. Now, for transparency, if I go out of the country, I have I'm from Jamaica. When I go to Jamaica, I use a system to mail the letters out for me. I do not print it. I do work on vacation because I don't know what vacation is. According to my husband. So I do go ahead and let the system mail it out for me if I have clients that are due while I'm away. And if my family is all on the trip with me, y'all work is still getting done, right? Me and my daughter does letters on Fridays. I do letters on Mondays. So we tag team together and we normally get the letters out within 2 days. So tonight, me and my son are going to go to the post office because I missed my earlier day run. We had back-to-back calls. However, my AP, she uses the software to mail. She has no problem. She's never had an issue. And whether you're using certified or not, it normally goes out and you're good to go. So it all depends on what you like to do and what your level of convenience is. I do believe that once you get more clients, if you're doing this solo dolo, it's a lot simpler to just have the system mail it out for you. But I do have 2 processors, so it does make it a little bit easier for me to balance the load. So I have one person that I do letters Monday. I have one that does it on Wednesday, and my daughter does it every Friday so she can get her spending money for the weekend. So that's how you can make it work. Once you guys have done that, just like how you see attack, you would go back in and you would do the static letters. It's handwritten. You're going to scroll down. I like to go all the way to the bottom just to make life easier. And you're going to select all of these third-party companies at the bottom. Once you select these third-party companies, you're going to hit start round. You're going to hit confirm. So when you're going to hit start round, again, as long as you have monies in the bank, this is going to be generated for you for free. It's going to generate the rounds of attack for the third-party creditors. So everything is done for you seamlessly without any issues. And just like it says attack here, it will say creditor. If you do the pro, say creditor. If you're doing the static letters, it'll say static and it will tell you what round you're doing it for. Hey, what questions you got, my love?
Okay, so for the static letter template, you said you select all of them for the third party creditors. Do you do that with each round?
If you're following this round, you're doing it with every round except for 5, 6, and 11, 12.
Oh, okay. So I never did a third party once, but I'm not sure if I do that round. Okay.
It's fine. Wherever you are now, you can just, when you do your next round, you can go ahead, as long as you're not, let me correct that. If you're following this new flow, if you're following the red, blue, or black or white attack, you can do it throughout that flow.
Okay. The thing is, I don't know what flow I'm following. I have to go back and check.
Okay.
I don't think it's that though, but okay. Thank you.
So if you're following,
let me check what I'm following. Let me log in.
So if you're following this was the old flow. The old flow didn't give you information on how to dispute the secondary bureaus. So if you didn't have the knowledge of how to dispute them, you didn't know to select that option.
I don't think I was doing that one.
Okay.
I think I was doing the new one.
Oh, you're doing the
I wasn't doing the red, blue, and I wasn't doing that one. Because I seen that option to send letters to a third party creditors. I just never selected that option.
Yeah, all you got to do is whatever flow you're at. So it sounds like you may have already done round 1 and round 2. When you go into round 3, you can send it out. With the fact that you have some stall letters, what I would recommend is when you go back to send out the stall letters, then you can go ahead and generate the static letters for the secondary bureaus.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty, thank you.
My pleasure. I love it. All right, so we have just finished our first round of attack. I've shown you guys how to do the static letters to the third-party companies. We're gonna go ahead and finish these tabs. The history tab shows you the letters that's been printed, credit report, credit score information. Invoices are where you can see the invoice for the client, and note is a special feature specifically for pro users. So you can put in the client had a stall situation, sent out a stall letter on this date, or I generated something next. Like I just generated my first stall letter, whatever. You can put the notes in here that are specific, or you can put your client goals. I like to write down why my clients signed up with me. Like, what are their end goals? If their end goal is to get a house, number one, my email sequence is going to be all about a house, all about the things. We're talking about earnest money. We're talking about what an appraisal looks like. I don't want you to just have the basic information of the score. I need you to have the totality of what the cost of a house is going to be for you. So I have those conversations in real time, and I do track the conversations that I have with clients as well. So you have that there. So any questions on what we have covered thus far? Any questions?
So I just got a quick question. Which letters are the free ones? The ones that you get with Identity IQ?
You do not. Okay. So the only free letters is if you have money in your bucket, you can get the static letters. Static letters are cease and desist, debt validation, goodwill, payoff, failure to respond, personal information. Anything under the static is free as long as you have money in your bucket.
All right, cool. Thanks.
My pleasure. Any other questions, guys? No? All right, so I have dropped my booking link if anyone has any questions outside of. I wanted to make sure that you guys had a good dialogue to have conversations with yourself or your client to educate on what credit wholeness looks like. Again, I'm not just here to write the letters for my clients. I'm also having a clear conversation with them as to how they can increase or decrease their scores, because all the letters I write, if you eat junk and you put junk on this report, guess what? You're gonna get junk numbers. And I like to let my clients know, I have several clients who had a 720 plus, and they're having a hard time getting funding because of the body of their report based on their utilization, right? They still have a high score because they might have a Navy Federal with a high limit, but they're also using a lot of it. So you want to have the conversation that the report or your score is not just subject to the numbers, it's also subject to what your body looks like, right? What are you doing? How are you managing the credit that you have? How are you making sure that you're making your payments on time? Hey, set up automatic payments so you're never missing a due date, right? That's a number one. Number two, also make sure that while you're out here making these moves, that you're paying attention to your statement date. If you have an installment account, that installment account has a $400 payment. split up that payment where you're paying $100 a week, right? Those are different tips that can help your client get from a 300 credit score to above. So you want to make sure that you're leveraging that accordingly. So before I let everyone go, please don't forget to join the community. If you have questions, you have answers, as you can see, our wonderful moderator JM is in these streets dipping and doing it. All right. The letters are here. We are here Monday, Wednesday, and we are going to start being here on Thursday for the pro call. So you guys will be able to get that information. Does anyone have any questions or concerns before I let you guys have the rest of your day? Any questions? The truck is my pleasure to help. Let me see if I miss anyone here. Hey, Miss Clay. You know I love giving you my time, girl. All right. So we're not going to play this like a Marvel movie, y'all. If y'all don't have any questions, I'm going to let y'all go. We're going to see you guys on Monday. I thank you guys for bringing all your questions. Mr. Lewis, thank you for being awesome. And thank you for your win. For Mr. Lewis, for sharing his win. And Mr. Is it Salinas? Is that how you say it? For sharing his win. Like, that was so amazing to have conversations. Remember, the pro call is going to be live next Thursday. So you guys have been awesome. Thank you for all you do. Bye.